to the best decision you've made this quarter. Now, the fact that you joined the group doesn't mean you're guaranteed success. A lot of you will still fail. Right? That's just the reality of the game. Now, the trick is you're going to try and beat the numbers. Right? You're going to try and beat the numbers, which is 95% of traders lose. Right? So you're going to have to pay attention to every single word I say in this teaching. And if you do so, if you diligently, religiously, genuinely listen, you'll make it. All right? It's a two-way street. Excuse me. It's a two-way street, right? I give you the information, and you have to go and give time to the charts with the information I give you, right? You have to go through the process of being a yearner to a learner to an earner, right? Because by the end of watching these videos, I'll have done my part. Right? If you don't do your part, then it's over. You will see no progress, and you'll probably hop onto another strategy and keep sucking. Right? So don't do that. Follow the path, and give time to the charts, and pay attention to section 2 and 3. Genuinely try and understand what I'm saying. Right? If you don't get it from the first time, then it's okay to watch it once, twice. No one's watching you. No one's seeing you. This is a journey between you and yourself on becoming a better trader. Right? No one knows, only you. Right? So watch it. If you need to watch it 10 times, then do it. Right? I've had many students who come to me who say, the first time it didn't make sense, but as I kept watching it more times, the pieces kept getting, the pieces of the puzzle getting clearer and clearer until eventually it made sense and it clicked, right? So that's the purpose of section 1A. Forget everything you learned before this, except if it's something from me or ICT. Unfollow, and this is crucial, unfollow everyone on social media. There's not a single person on all social media, Twitter, Telegram, whatever, who's worth following besides me, ICT, and Dante, right? And if you follow me and ignore even ICT and Dante, then that's better, right? So unfollow everyone. Except me. Now, it does sound like it's a narcissistic egomaniac, but it's the truth. You need to control your attention, right? You have to focus on one thing. The more mentors you have, the more likely you suck. Right? So focus on all. Focus on nobody except me. One mentor only. Avoid multiple sources of information. And 3 is take notes diligently of whatever I say. Right? There's a saying in Arabic about notes, about writing in general. It says, العلم صيد والكتابة قيد قيد صيودك بالحبال الواثقة, which means knowledge is a prey. Knowledge is a prey, and writing are the ropes. Tie your prey with thick ropes. Right? And that concludes rewiring your brain. And once you do this, all of these, especially number 2, don't be lazy, don't procrastinate, just get it done, and let's move on, right? And number 4, of course, is consume as much technical content you can from me as you can, right? Whether it's private or public content. Make sure to consume everything. Ignore the shit posts, ignore the fun back and forth on social media. Focus on the technicals, right? Be ultra focused on consuming all technical knowledge I've ever produced online. Because it's gonna fast forward you years and years and save you years of trouble, right? It's a shortcut. And with that, I conclude section 1A. Good luck, good trading, and see you in the next one. All right, folks, welcome to section 1B. What is CRT? CRT was an epiphany I had a while back. Right? Now, the story is, as you might know, is I started off as an ICT student, right? Before that, I actually started off as a student of the charts. So I've studied supply and demand, I've studied Elliott waves, classical price action, Gann, Wyckoff. I've studied stuff you probably haven't even heard of. Right? I've dug really deep into the knowledge that's out there. And then I stumbled across ICT, right? And what I saw was that he had gathered everything else and refined it and summarized it and gathered it in one place and called it ICT, right? So for that, he does get the credit, right? He's the greatest market historian of the modern century. But the fault is the long rants, which I admit I may be slightly similar to in that aspect, but a lot better, right? It's a lot less worse than what he does. So what I did was I took all of ICT's material and I did what he did to the technicals before him, right? And the conclusion was CRT and turtle soup. Now, it is extremely unlikely that this happens ever again. So I'm pretty sure that technical analysis has peaked. Right? The peak is here with CRT. Nobody has anything else to teach after this. Right? With the stuff me and ICT have put out, there is nothing left to be taught. Stop looking, and there goes the neighbor again. Stop looking for a holy grail. And I'm not sure how this is going to sound after it's recorded. Let's see. I know this one's going to get a lot of complaints, but those complaining, you simply have to deal with it and weed out the information. Skip forward this part when you watch it later. Now, what is CRT? CRT is the most modern, the most complete form of technical analysis. It stands for candle range theory. Which means every single candle you see is a range, right? And this range can either be broken out of and continue downwards, right? Close below. Or it can be turtle soup, then it rallies, right? Or vice versa, a few weeks above, right? That's the summary. The summary is every single candle is a range, and using the current range and the previous range, you will try and predict the next range. That's it. Right? That's the easy way. To lay a foundation. Right? Now, CRT is based on the idea that there's going to be one accumulation candle, one manipulation candle, and then a distribution candle, right? So it is a 3-candle model, and this I presented it in 2023, early 2023, in a previous private teaching I had, right? As the 3-candle model, but that was introduction. That wasn't everything. So CRT is 3 candles. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. Candle 1, accumulation. You don't touch this as a beginner. You don't touch this as a beginner. You trade this one onwards. And this is the revolution of CRT. Before CRT, nobody was showing the higher time frame specific candles as trades, right? And anyone who claims they were is lying and full of shit, right? Excuse my language. That's the truth, right? Anyone, it's become common to see this drawing of 3 candles, right? Higher time frame candles being used as trades, focusing on candles instead of zones. That happened after CRT, right? It was never the norm. The norm was, before I joined social media, the norm was, and you might be a victim to this, is trying to trade every market structure shift on the 1 minute, right? But this is wrong. This is bullshit. Right? What you're trying to do is trade the range of each candle. Not all the candles, right? That's another common mistake, which is the beginner tries to trade every single candle he can trade, right? That's wrong. If you do that, you will simply burn out and you won't trade anymore. Right? So for those watching, you are going to be one of two. You're going to be a beginner, and the beginners are allowed only to trade candle number 3. The advanced may trade candle number 2, even number 1, right? But the main rule is this: beginner, candle number 3, advanced, candle number 1, right? The whole idea is to narrow down your focus from a pattern. This is not a pattern. CRT is not a pattern. And you will fall victim to this. You watching right now, you will try and force it as a pattern, and you will fail every single time. Well, you might succeed sometimes, but the times you succeed are because it's not a pattern, right? Because it's working as a logic. CRT is not a pattern. It's not a. It's you see some people, some ignoramus on Twitter, some fool who doesn't know what he's talking about, might talk about it as an inside bar, right? Which is completely just, it shows lack of understanding, right? It's seeing this range, right? And seeing what happens to this range. Is it going to be broken out of or turtle souped? And then trading this specific range, this candle range, CRT, this candle's range, trading its turtle soup to the 50% and target 2 later, the opposing end of the range. All right. So to summarize the whole system, to lay a strong foundation, and you better be taking notes. Right? I know some of you are not. Stop being lazy. Take notes, because you're gonna need to watch this at least 3 times to make the most of it. All right. So you're trying to trade the range of a specific candle, right? This could be a 1-hour range. This could be a 4-hour range. This could be a 1-day range. This could be a 1-week range. This could be a month range. You're trying to choose one candle and trade its range, right? Now the rules are as follows. Here's a candle. It's making gray. And my charts are black and gray to remove emotion from the equation, right? Because psychologically, when you see a green candle, then when you buy and you see it exploding upwards, nice green candles, then your brain links it to money and you become happy, and happiness is an emotion, and we want to eliminate all emotions from our trading, right? More on that in section 2. So, here's a candle. This is CRT, right? Candle range. Now this candle range, you mark the high, you mark the low. You're expecting a turtle soup at the low of this candle. Right here. Now as soon as you see them stabbing into this candle, right? They stab into this candle and they wick below it without closing below the candle. Then you automatically assume that they're going to go and attack in the next candle. The 50% of this candle, of the range, and eventually the opposing end of the range. All right? All right, remember, 3 candles, CRT low, a turtle soup, and then 50% and the opposing end of the range, right? And an important point is, so you avoid pattern trading this, it's not a pattern, it is liquidity pools, right? So what's happening here is, in this candle right here, what happened is that this created two liquidity pools, buy side over here and sell side. So sellers are waiting below here to sell the continuation, the breakout, right? And buyers are above here waiting to buy the breakout, right? With old sellers, of course, having their stop loss here and buyers having stop loss here. So what the market maker is going to do is he's going to push he's going to push price, usually with an inside bar as well, right? So it's chop, 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 and then it's going to be pushed into one side of this liquidity pool, this candle, right? Sell side and buy side. So when the market maker pushes the price below this liquidity pool, then the sellers are triggered. Everyone's selling down here. And if you have a minimum amount of experience in the markets, then you've experienced this, right? Selling when it goes down, which is wrong. So the sellers are buying down here, selling down here. Buyers have been stopped out, early buyers, and then it suckers them in, uses them as fuel, and rallies. Once you see this rejection, once you see this price stabbing into an old low, rejecting and rallying, then you automatically assume that it's going to go and attack the 50% of the range as a safe target one. Now, you can trade the low to the 50% or the high to the 50%, and that can be your career. That can be your career, right? I have a lot of students who that's all they do. All they do is trade one side of the range to the 50%, and that's it. They're done, right? And the win rate that way is a lot higher. All right, so CRT low, CRT high. It's a generation of liquidity, right? It's a range. You wait for one side to be taken, then it goes straight to the other sides, right? So it's, now replay what I said in the past 5 minutes and compare that to the inside bar narrative, right? Just to see how ridiculous that is. Right? It's a logic, it's a system. It's a whole system. It is how the market moves. It's not a pattern. So that concludes section 1B, what is CRT? And see you in the next one. All right, folks, welcome to section 1C, types of CRT. Now, before starting, I'm going to point out the types of CRT traders. All right. Number one is a pattern trader who's looking to trade every single pattern he sees. And these are the ones destined to fail, because sometimes it's going to go up against you. The second type are those who trade the logic of CRT. Right? And this is the correct way. Amongst you as well, those who've joined Crt Unlocked, you won't all make it. And this is the harsh reality. Some of you will make it. Some of you will understand the logic. Some of you will understand what's actually meant by CRT. Others will end up being pattern traders and lose, and eventually you'll hop into the strategy. And that's why you are part of the 90% who always lose and will always lose. All right? So, moving on, we have the types of CRT. We have 5 types. Type 1, the classic CRT. Right, so it's a candle, CRT low, CRT high. You got a turtle soup at the CRT high, and trades all the way down to the CRT low and candle number 3. All right, so you have the 3 candle model. This is the classic CRT model. Bread and butter, easy to trade, gorgeous. All right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Second of all, you have what I call the pattern trader's kryptonite. Right? When pattern traders see this, then their IQ cannot fathom their double-digit room temperature in Celsius. IQ cannot fathom the fact that the pattern didn't work. All right, so there's a candle. And then you have the next candle is going to go and take both the high and the low. Right? And this indicates volatility. So candle 1, there's always candle 1. This is fixed. Right? What happens in candle 2 onwards is what's different. Right? So candle 2 is the manipulation and distribution candle. That's type 2. Now type number 3 is here's a candle. And then it takes multiple candles. So candle 1, candle 2, and then it takes multiple candles to reach the CRT low again. So while the pattern traders are waiting for candle 3 to reach, the astute pupil understands that there's types. So he goes 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Then you have type 4, which is CRT plus an inside candle. Right? Candle 1. The candle 2 is inside candle, and again, the pattern traders get confused. But then what happens is the inside candle is going to be followed by a volatile candle, because as you know, candle size matters, right? So size does matter after all in candles so candle 1, inside candle, and after the inside candle directly, there's a manipulation candle, which is expected to produce a violent distribution down to the opposing end of candle 1. All right, so this is type 4. And then you have type 5. Which is candle 1, followed by multiple inside candles. Right? Everyone's bored, no one's trading. And then suddenly there's a volatile turtle soup in one side. And then it trades down to the target. Right? There were some ugly candles. But you get the point. Right? CRT high, CRT low. Right? Candle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Right? And these are important facts. Why? Because this helps you understand that it's not a pattern, it's a logic. Excuse me. Right? And that concludes the chapter of the types of CRT. Next up, the more dense chapters will be the secrets of each of the 3 candles, and ICT and CRT. I wish you good luck, good trading, ponder over this lesson, and see you in... Alright folks, welcome to section 1D.